I want to talk about today very briefly is this concept of you will handle it. I will handle it. Okay. One of the underpinnings of the control freak, one of the underpinnings of this radar of trying to maintain the peace, of anticipating, of reading the room, is the idea of, well, what if? Okay, maybe there was a time in your past where you failed to anticipate something or other, and look at the consequences. And so now this kind of radar is going. Fear, yeah? Fear drives us far more powerfully most of the time than pleasure. Okay, so if there is an underpinning of fear of what if, it can really stunt your progress, it can stunt your success, it can stunt the things that you go for, it can stunt your entire outlook on life and therefore the way that you interact with the world. So if you can manage to get instead this idea inside your head of I will handle it, it can be tremendously powerful, tremendously powerful. So my suggestion for this is that right now, whatever it is that you're doing, you might have an inkling of an expectation of what might be coming next, but broadly speaking, you don't really know. Yeah. Whereas when you look backwards, you can kind of see the stepping stones of life that have led you to today. If you walk across a stream, you walk across a river, and there are some stones in the river, you have very little idea to no idea how you're going to get across the river until you start putting your feet out and finding the stones. And then once you found a couple of stones, you find another couple of stones and you carry on going. The thing about our brain is that we want to anticipate, we want to maintain our safety. But it turns out we've got this kind of very strange, skewered understanding. So everything going backwards looks as clear as day, and everything going forwards looks kind of opaque. Whereas in reality, all those things in the past that kind of look obvious from now, at the time, all of them were kind of looking forwards in that cone of opportunity, of randomness, and were equally unexpected. So that's kind of a useful way, I think, of saying, well, look at all the stuff that I didn't anticipate in the past, and look at the fact that I am still here. Yeah, I did survive it. And maybe look at the times in the past where I did have a shock, where something came along that I was truly unprepared for, that I had to go through. And look at the nice things that have happened in my life since then, that at that moment in time I could never possibly have guessed. Put all of that into the perspective of, okay, so going forward, I don't know how. I have no idea how, but I will handle it. Yeah, I will handle it until one day, of course, you expire. But at that day, well, presumably, I don't want to get too metaphysical about it, but presumably at that day we won't know it anyway. And in the meantime, all the challenges of life, somehow or other, we will handle them. It's a very, very powerful way of setting forth on the day with a sort of a stride in your step, yeah, with an inner confidence, an inner strength, like your core is powerful, it's vertical, and it gives you the oomph to kind of take on the challenges of the day, even though you don't know what might be there. Yeah. All right. Thanks for watching. As I say, I'm doing a lot of these sort of little snippets of what it is that I've learned. So if it's of interest, subscribe, because there'll be a whole lot more. Until next time, enjoy this beautiful, beautiful arch. This is in New Mexico. I'm not sure about the pronunciation, but it is in the El Malpais National Monument. And it certainly qualifies for any that are as good as in Arches National Park, doesn't it? All right, take care. Bye.